Today I have with me Dr.Suresh Kumar from PSG STEP in Coimbatore. He's the Executive Director.
I used to say that entrepreneurship is nothing but common sense. Whatever you're doing it for your personal things, just extend to your business.
Entrepreneurship is a career option. Am I wrong?
See, entrepreneurship is a career option. Nothing wrong in that. But they have to start somewhere.
What, according to you, couple of things which stop students from thinking about entrepreneurship as a career option?
During their school days itself, you'll say that you become an engineer, you become a doctor, you become an auditor. You say something, but you don't say that you become an entrepreneur.
How can a student find a problem statement worthy of solving?
That's where the entrepreneurship faculty like you should play a major role.
What is it that you're good at, and then you should become an entrepreneur?
If you have an entrepreneurship mindset as an individual, and whether you work for yourself or for others, that doesn't matter. The mindset matters.
Let's begin. Today I have with me Dr. Suresh Kumar from PSG STEP in Coimbatore. He's the Executive Director, and he's been with PSG STEP for almost 25 years now. He was President of Indian STEPs and Incubators Association for 7 long years. Recently moved out of that position. Thank you very much, Dr. Suresh, for joining me today on this conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Puran, for inviting me for this conversation. Look forward to contribute for your initiative.
Thank you very much. Have I told you enough about guests or no?
You can say something about guests.
Okay.
And we can start the conversation from there.
Right. I think we spoke couple of years back when we were doing the first round of survey for guests in India. It's a global initiative primarily focused on doing a survey to understand students' entrepreneurial spirit. And in 2023, for the first time, we did this survey in India. And I remember reaching out to you, and Dr. Suresh was, of course, the amongst the first supporters of guests. We released the first report of guest survey during the SparkOn in 2024 as well. So we did this survey in 2023. We had participation from about 14,000 students from across the country, and we had a lot of data points. And now we are in 2025. Second round of survey will undergo this year. But we realized that the data alone is not sufficient.
Okay.
And we need a voice to go along with data. And if you remember, I mentioned a number to you, which was 26% of the students who have an idea, 26% go to an incubation center.
Okay.
And I asked you, why is it so low? And I don't know if you remember, you said, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is
26% is a huge number.
26% is a huge number. So let's start the conversation with this. You know, you've been in the incubation space, and my introduction to you, I came to know, I knew you in 2017 when I had my first training program on incubation. Of course, you and Dr. Bala were there. My first reaction was 26% is a low number. What is, why do you say it's a good number?
Student entrepreneurship in the educational institutions is just picking up. And we have less number of incubation centers across the country when you compare to the number of education institutions we have, higher education institutions we have. And related to that, the number of incubation centers that's there in the higher education institutions, still we have long way to go. That's my perspective. And the bandwidth of the incubation centers, the team of the incubation centers will always be, a small team will be managing the incubation center. It is like a lean management that we have a small team, right? You are also part of Catalyst and you'll be knowing that. So catering to the needs of the students, the catering to the needs of the innovators, catering to the needs of the entrepreneurs by the small team which has been there at the incubation center will be always be a challenging one. And if you are able to reach out to 26% of 14,000 students out of who have participated in the survey, that's a great number that we have achieved in last few years.
Okay. So actually, it's not 26% of the 14,000 students. 14,000 students participate in the survey. Out of them, 38% say they have an idea they are working on.
Okay.
At different stages, they may be. Out of these 38%,
26% have reached out.
they are enrolled in an incubation center is all. And we didn't know why they are going to incubation center and why they are not. And for me, this was the biggest puzzle. After in 2023, I moved out of the incubation center at IIT Mandi, and I started sort of focusing myself on research. And I realized only 10% of the 400 startups that we supported in the 7-8 years that I was with the incubation center, they were from students in IIT Mandi. And I said, I was here and I was a faculty, I was teaching entrepreneurship, and I could only get, about 40 student teams to start up and come to incubation center. And I started reflecting on it and said, I could have brought in more. And that's where, guests came in, where now I am trying to understand why or why not students start up, what is in their mind vis-a-vis entrepreneurship as a career option, and are we in incubation centers attracting enough students? Are we suitable for students' needs? And that is why I thought if we talk to you with years of your experience, and you've led nationally the incubation ecosystem in India as the president of ISBA, and of course 20-25 long years in a regional ecosystem in Coimbatore, having seen it grow. What is your perspective on these numbers? What is your perspective on students and incubation center? Is there a match? Is there a mismatch? What are we missing?
So always there is a match. That's the reason the incubation centers have been predominantly sanctioned to the educational institutions to support the student entrepreneurs or early stage entrepreneurs at the early stage itself. Right, that's the reason behind having these incubation centers at the educational institutions. And secondly, the educational institutions have the state-of-the-art facilities, infrastructure, experts, faculty experts, and industry academia collaborations are there. So there is a conducive ecosystem which has already been prevailing, uh, which can be leveraged for the entrepreneurship purpose. That's the main agenda of incubation centers located in educational institutions. But when you look at the journey of student startups, right, you are coming to the last mile connectivity, and you are asking me the question, right, why it is only 14% or 26% or 38%, whatever is the number. I'm not there for the percentage or the number game. Student startups is the last mile, but you have to look at the journey of the students in their educational 4 years of their education. Say they get enrolled in the first year, they get exposed to the technology subjects for which they have enrolled. Then they look entrepreneurship as a career, and when they come to the pre-final year or second or third year, right, the students started working with projects, and then they move on. Right. So the myth that we have is all the students' projects can be converted into startups or innovations, and from innovation to the startups, and so the number should be high.
Okay.
Right. Every final year class, if it has about on an average about 15 projects, why not these 15 projects are getting converted into a product, and then from product to the market? So it's an ideal situation. But practically we have a lot of challenges.
Okay.
So out of my experiences, what I've noticed is the first instance what students give are the solutions based on the knowledge that they've gathered or acquired during their education.
Right.
They find a problem statement, and then they try to find a solution within the knowledge that they have acquired during their 4 years of education or 3 years or first 3 years of their education, and try to complete as a project in the fourth year, taking faculty as a mentor and do it. So I say that they try to give a solution with a limited knowledge or a limited exposure. But the journey starts with solution, but solution is not the end.
Okay.
So, so I look at from the incubation point of view, where the students use the word that we are developing a product, we are developing a prototype, right? They use the jargons or there is a mismatch in the jargons that they use.
Mm-hmm.
But according to me, they identified a problem statement either through their mentor or through an industry or somewhere from the society. And with the knowledge that they have acquired, they try to give a solution.
Yeah.
But the journey starts from there. A solution, from a solution, they have to move forward to an product or a prototype or a product. Then they should look at commercializing that product, right? And that should be a product market fit.
Right.
It's a long journey.
Yeah.
Right. So if you ask me to classify these stages, right? So from solution, as a student, they are giving a solution.
Mm-hmm.
But from solution, if they want to move to a product, right, they should be an innovator, right? He should be in a position to integrate the technologies, right? Or should come out with new technology, right? Whatever it is, right? He should be an innovator. Once the product has been developed, then he should move from an innovator to an entrepreneur, right?
Okay.
So these are the three major stages that a student should cross, right?
Okay.
So where the incubation center plays a role is when he decides to become an entrepreneur. Incubation centers have a major role to play in terms of investing efforts, time, energy, money on that particular student team
Yeah.
to make him to become a successful entrepreneur.
Right. Right.
Right. So that's where my 26% or sorry, your 26% or 38%
Yeah.
is about student startups, means that who have traveled from a solution provider to an innovator to an entrepreneur.
Right.
It is like a funnel. At the start of the funnel, you have more number of teams to participate and things like that. But when it comes to an incubation center, it gets filtered out because of many reasons. And very few teams decided to take the career, entrepreneurship career.
Right.
And once they decide to take the entrepreneurship career, they come to incubation centers and then they start working in a different ecosystem.
Okay. So there are, three different branches that I, see right now in which we could go in this discussion. There is one which is, journey of a student from a solution provider to an entrepreneur. Second is the incubation center, and I want to share some of my perceptions or learnings or ideas, and then I want to validate with you.
Okay.
What do you think about that? So I will go into these two, but before that, in what so far we've had some conversations with student entrepreneurs, and I've been teaching entrepreneurship, and one of the things that I've realized is starting with something matters. You have to begin with something. Students will never have a formidable, highly, marketable idea ready with them, but they have to start now and they have to get somewhere, right? So I'm telling them entrepreneurship is a career option. Am I wrong?
See, entrepreneurship is a career option, and nothing wrong in that. But they have to start somewhere, right? While starting somewhere, right, they should be guided in a fair way. Means that you have to start somewhere. So you find a problem and then you start give a solution. That's one way of doing it. But where we have to do is we have to give a framework to them, right? How the problem that you have identified, right? Uh, give some benefits to the right. It's from the society or it's to the industry. Whether the problem identified from the society or the industry, right, is a pain point, and whether you are going the solutions that you are going to provide is going to address that pain point.
Yeah.
So we have to teach them how to validate uh, the problem statement first, right? Whether it is a problem or a pain, and then second thing is how to validate your solution, right? In what are the points that you have to ponder,
Right.
to take this initiative to the next level.
Okay.
Right.
So, how can a student find a problem statement worthy of solving?
That's where the entrepreneurship faculty like you should play a major role, right? So they should be able to understand what is the difference between a problem and a pain, and whether it is pain means either in terms of volume or value,
Okay.
right? And what is this pain point that they have identified, the damage that it's causing as of now in terms of whatever it is, how you are going to measure in terms of time, effort, or money,
Right.
right? That you have to teach them how to convert, quantify the qualitative pain point that they have identified, it has to be quantified. Once you are able to quantify, either it can be, as I'm repeating the 3 points which I used to tell, right? The pain point that you have identified would have consumed more time or would have taken more efforts from the people to address that problem, or they would have spent more money on it, right? It can be a combination of any 2 or 3 years, right? So if they are able to quantify, right, from the qualitative statement of the pain point, then their journey will become easy. The first thing is, I identified a pain point, and this particular problem causes damages in terms of, say, 10 lakh rupee for a user, or it puts 50 people to work on this particular area where I'm going to reduce from 50 to 5, right? If you're able to quantify it, then the solution will also become easier for them to justify and then take it to the market.
Okay.
So there should be some frameworks where there are frameworks, and entrepreneurship faculty should choose the appropriate framework. And one framework, right, all the students cannot understand, but we have different frameworks to evaluate an idea or validate an idea. So that has to be shared with the students, and the thought process has to be channelized. The problem is they have to start somewhere, and they come, they pitch, they go with their own style of pitching, style of expressing their ideas and things like that. So we have to channelize that, focus that, and how right, you can present your problem statement and validate your idea within about 4 or 5 steps by applying these formulas or these frameworks. That's where the faculty should play an important role.
But also, as faculty, we are termed, or we are labeled, we are too theoretical. It's very theoretical approach, and it's, the problems have to come from industry. And when we try to teach frameworks, students may or may not be very interested. How do you tackle that problem?
See, the problems can come from industry, the problem can come by his own experience, the problem can come by seeing other people's experiences. The source of ideas or the problem statements can come from anywhere. Here I'm talking about the framework is not to identify the problems. Once you have identified the problems, then you have to give some basic frameworks for them to channel their thought process. So, say for example, BMC can be a framework. Customer
Business model
discovery,
canvas, yeah.
customer discovery can be a framework and
Right.
things like that. So, based on the stages at which they are going to work, then you can give some kind of models for them, so that it is going to channel their thought process. Instead of putting them to think in different angles at one point of time, and they'll find it to connect the dots. Instead, your framework should be able to channelize their thought, and then they come with a concrete
Solution. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about the journey from solution to a product, right? And you briefly mentioned it. You're saying when a student comes up with an idea, the faculty within an academic institution should have some frameworks to help student define the problem correctly, and then the student can think about some solutions. So let us zoom into the journey of a student. You said, from a student to an innovator to an entrepreneur, right? So a student to an innovator, let's focus on this step. How have you seen students progress from just a student and then either stumbling upon a problem, or faculty telling them a problem, or industry coming and giving a problem statement? How do they become innovators? Some story comes to you, or whatever process that you've seen.
Yeah, and that's why the incubation center plays a major role, because the jargons that has been used in academia are a little bit different from the real world definition, or how the venture life cycle has been measured or defined in the real world. So people use only 2 words in academia. Either they say that project, or they'll say that we are developing a product.
Okay.
Right. But between a project and a product, right, first you should have a proof of concept or a lab scale kind of thing. Then from proof of concept, you move to prototype. From prototype, then you move to an MVP, then to a product. Then you go to the market, not to sell it, just to test it, right? Then come back, tweak the product, then you make a commercially viable product. Right? This is the journey that you have to make them to understand,
Right.
that where they stand.
Right.
And we say that there are 5 stages. We say that from ideation to POC, POC to prototype, prototype to product, from product to commercialization, then scale up. So there'll be 6 stages that has been done. And in science-based thing, people will say that you are a TRL1 to TRL9 and things like that. So we have to make them to understand, right? You stand with this language, and you should compare yourself with the real world language. And if you are able to make them to think the journey in the actual entrepreneurship journey, then about you have addressed your 50% of the problem.
Okay.
Right. So it is not about theoretical, it is not about practical. It is about making the students to understand how the process is, what are the stages that they have to cross, and how these stages have been defined academically, how these stages have been defined in the entrepreneurial journey. And if you are able to make a match and say that you stand at an ideation stage,
Right.
or now yours is not a product, yours is a POC, or yours it's at a lab scale. And now from here, if you want to move forward, these are the ways that you have to handle it.
Right.
So if you are able to make them to understand, then your life becomes easier. So that's where we request them to get engaged in the entrepreneurship ecosystem at that particular stage.
So for you said from idea to proof of concept to prototype to product, this is a long drawn journey for a student to see through it clearly. I have an idea and now there are so many steps. I have to study as well, right? I have courses to take care of. I have sports to play. I want to participate in cultural programs, etc., etc. There are a bunch of things as a youngster, a student has aspirations to do. And now becoming an entrepreneur and not thinking about this problem statement as a project, but as possibly a product or enterprise, right? Do you think it comes naturally to students? How have you seen students adjust to this reality?
See, students will adjust to the reality. Right.
Okay.
That's right. Because as an institution, you have, see, as an institution, our role is to give the opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can't convert all the students into sportsmen.
Mm-hmm.
You can't convert all the students into an orator.
Okay.
You can't convert all the students even into an academic, right, engineering, if it's from an engineering education,
Right.
right, you can't make all the engineers to become an, right, get employed in an engineering industry immediately, right? Some of them will prefer for administrative roles,
Yeah.
and even after completing the MBBS or BE, people are choosing civil service exams and moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So every student have his own aspirations and his own priorities and
Right.
his own preferences. So entrepreneurship is also an opportunity that educational institutions should provide.
Okay.
What we are giving is we are giving utmost importance, saying that 50% of the students should become entrepreneur and things like that. So for me, it is like an opportunity that we have to give to the student. How we are giving opportunity for him to do
Mm-hmm.
higher education. You have given an opportunity for him to go for competitive exams. Some of them will write GATE and go for higher education, and some of them will choose sports as a career and they're moving in.
Yeah.
Some of them are even diverting themselves from doing an engineering, they've gone into media.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Similarly, entrepreneurship will also be a career for them, and as an education institution, we ensure that we are giving an opportunity.
But sir, see, for if you want to become an engineer, you want to take up a job in industry, or you want to become a civil servant, or any other profession that you are choosing as a student, it has an immediate return. You study, you prepare for 1 year, 6 months, couple of years, and then you land a job. Uh, and primarily, you go to an educational institution with the USP of where will I get the best CTC, right? And now you are saying entrepreneurship is a career choice as well. It's a valid career option. But I'm not going to get any CTC.
Even if you want to become if you are a civil services aspirant, you are not going to get a CTC immediately. People are going for coaching classes, training, and things like that for 6 months, 1 year, first attempt, second attempt,
Hmm.
and they're prepared for it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. Every career has its own, I don't say that challenges, its own process.
Right.
Right. Some of the things, right, placement can happen immediately after your education.
Hmm.
But if you want to become an IAS IPS officer, then it will take minimum of 1 year and maximum of, say, whatever the years that's possible for you. That's to you can withstand. Right. That's how you decide to become a civil servant aspirant, and you prepare for it. That's a mindset. And if you decide to become an entrepreneur, and if you have that mindset that, okay, this is a journey, and I'm into a technology product development, it is not a service, and technology product development will take a 1 year time for me to reach particular stage. And if he is able to understand, see, in all other careers, he is able to understand the journey. So he is ready to sacrifice either time, efforts, money, whatever it is, he is ready to sacrifice. Similarly, if you are able to make the students to understand the process in entrepreneurship as a career, then he will also prepare himself. He means not only the individual, even his family.
Okay.
Right. His surroundings will also be encouraging him, right, whatever be possible. So we have to make him to understand the process. What are the challenges that you are going to have in that process, entrepreneurship as a career, and if he accepts that, and he will also be prepared for it.
So again, easier said than done. We will talk about parents and friends in a role of society as well, but um, I need to prepare even for civil services or to become a doctor engineer. Yes, I have to put in, but that's a traditionally validated way. Yes, do your hard work, crack an exam, get a job. Once you get a job, you get a monthly payment coming into your bank account. You have a salary. In entrepreneurship, it's not going to happen immediately. You will put in few years,
Yes.
and it will take you 3, 4, 5 years,
Even 10 years.
10 years, and then the money will come. What about that financial reward? Which
See, it is not only about money, right? Entrepreneurship career is not only about money. We look at money as the first option. But if you look at entrepreneurs, and if you have the interview, I don't know whether you had interview with a lot of student entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs, they would not have given first preference to the money. They would not have seen entrepreneurship as an alternate to placements to make money.
Right.
They would have identified a problem statement or a pain statement, and they would have told that I'm passionate about giving a solution to the society.
Right.
And making money becomes a byproduct. It's not the main product.
Right.
So if you start measuring entrepreneurship journey only in terms of money, right, that will be measured by others, not by the entrepreneurs or not by the individuals who are practicing entrepreneurs.
Right.
They want money, but they'll be passionate about making money by giving a better product, better solution, better service to the community.
Although I see that, in other professions also, why do you want to become a doctor? It's not money. It's saying, I want to serve the society. My village does not have a hospital, and, I want to become a teacher because my teacher shaped my career. I want to shape careers of many. So I do see that link that whatever profession you're
Except placements, all will make this state. Right? Somebody who goes and gets a placement will not say that I want to serve this particular industry. That's the reason I'm choosing it. It will be very minimal.
Yeah.
But if you look at the placements, it's an employment. But when you look at what are the other professions you have mentioned, right? It's all service. Whether it's a doctor, it's a service.
It's a service.
Teacher, it's a service.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, it's a service.
Entrepreneurship is a service.
And
Okay.
yes, it's a service because, right, and by doing the service, you're making money out of it. If you're not going to make money out of it, whether it's a social enterprise, whether it's an NGO and things like that, that's a different story.
Right.
But you want to make money by providing some good services, by addressing a problem or addressing the needs of the community or the society. And even civil aspirants is a service. Right. Getting placement is the only where you immediately connect with CTC. Rest of the positions that you have mentioned, no, you can't connect with the CTC immediately.
Yeah.
You have to put efforts. Even if you want to become a doctor, no, you can't stop with MBBS. You have to go with MD.
MD.
You have to prepare yourselves. And if you want to be named as a good doctor, then you have to see at least thousands of patients. And your career, you get a name and fame after 40s or 45. Right?
Right.
So that's the case if you choose service as your career, and you have to wait.
So, Dr. Suresh, when you are a student, how do you choose to become an engineer or a doctor or a scientist, right? There are certain traits that students show. I have interest in this area. I have interest in biology, so I will become a doctor. Or, when you are in school, everyone wants to become a doctor engineer because those are the only some titles that you've heard and are well respected in the society. But have you seen any traits which can say if you are somebody who likes XYZ kind of things, then you can become an entrepreneur. That can be a good option for you. You are good at maths, you should become an engineer. So what is it that you're good at, and then you should become an entrepreneur?
See, every individual is an entrepreneur, according to me.
Okay.
Right? Even a doctor or a teacher, right? The only thing is whether you are. It is about, as I mentioned, it's about entrepreneurship mindset that you have as an individual. If you have an entrepreneurship mindset as an individual, and whether you work for yourself, work for others, that doesn't matter. The mindset matters. If you have that entrepreneurship mindset and if you work for others, then you are called as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Right. So it is not about, see, my point here is, even I used to tell to many of the students, right, I'm not here to convert you to become an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I want you to think entrepreneurially, even if you're working for others.
Okay.
Right. Then only you can become president of a company, even if the company doesn't, it's not been owned by you. You can become a CEO of the company. You can become, managing director or whatever it is, right? So it is not about, see, again, since you have touched this question, I want to make it clear, being an entrepreneurship faculty, don't try to make your faculty, the students to become entrepreneur. Convert them with a individual with entrepreneurship mindset. And that will give the result for them to become either an entrepreneur or entrepreneur, right? Whatever the way they choose their career. Right, and I know that you are teaching this topic as entrepreneurial mindset in NPTEL courses, and that is your USP, right? But that has to be inculcated in the minds of the student.
Let's get some definitions clarified. Who is an entrepreneur?
Again, suddenly you are going to the basics.
I mean, see, why we are doing this is we want students to understand this more clearly.
See, you have a vision.
Yeah.
Right, as you mentioned that I want to provide some service to the industry, to the community and things like that. And you decided the way you want to serve that community or give a solution.
Yeah.
And if you are able to execute it,
Right.
and if you are able to achieve the goals, then you are an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So to execution means then it becomes everything. If I want to execute something, then I want to mobilize resources, I want to network, I want to convince.
There are several numbers, statistics. 90% of the startups fail. So those who fail, they're not entrepreneurs. They're not achieving the setup.
Failure is totally different.
Okay.
Right. If I fail in something, it doesn't mean that I don't have that capability or things like that. I may fail because of government policies. I may fail because of my the customers' behavior. Right. I may fail in judging the customer's expectation and things like that. See, that's even in the corporate career also, you would have failed, right? See, I used to tell, right, with the students, 100 students would have joined in a company as project engineer at the start of the career. Not all same 100 goes to president of that organization.
Yeah. Yeah.
So based on their circumstances, based on their aspiration, based on their commitments towards work, right? Some of them move quick in the professional ladder. Some of them move slow, right? Doesn't mean that it's a failure or success. It's a qualitative statement.
Okay.
And it is, you have to measure against some metrics.
Right.
And then you have to say that, okay, I'm doing less in this particular metrics and doing something more in this particular metrics. That's all.
Okay. So we clarified what is an entrepreneur, who is an entrepreneur. How do you define the mindset? I have my way of thinking about the mindset, but from your experience, what is this entrepreneurial mindset?
Whether you think bad about, whether you plan something negative to you, whether you do some activities which will spoil you as an individual, right? You don't do any activities that will hinder problems to you, right?
Right.
Similarly, you do activities which does not create problems for others, right? And if you're planning something, some activities, the way you plan for the betterment of your individual career. Similarly, if you start thinking about doing activities, planning activities, executing for the betterment of the organization, then it becomes mindset.
Mindset. Okay. You have seen many entrepreneurs over the last 25 years, Dr. Suresh, right? How are these entrepreneurs different? Of course, you have defined mindset, but tell me more about, these people behave in a very different way compared to, any other person that you come across. For example, let's say you're sitting in the plane or you're sitting in a train, you're talking to people, and have a conversation with someone, and you think like they're very different. So, is there something which distinguishes people who have this mindset?
Uh, According to me, being in the incubation center, the first judgment I used to have when a conversation is happening
Yeah.
between an individual,
Hmm.
right? Don't call them as an entrepreneur immediately. An individual who have walked in and having a conversation about his business idea. The first discrimination, or the understanding what I have to have is whether he's an innovator or an entrepreneur.
Okay. All right.
That's the only thing,
Hmm.
right? And if I'm able to judge he's an innovator
Hmm.
and he doesn't want to become an entrepreneur, but the way he talks or he thinks he wants to become an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
but if you look at his action points, the way he wants to execute and things like that,
Hmm.
if doesn't meets the entrepreneurial process,
Hmm.
then we say that you are an innovator,
Innovator.
right? You should have a team member
Okay.
who can convert right your product, take your product to the market and see to that your product sees the light. So that's the only differentiation. At the first stage, we want to distinguish between innovator and an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And then once we decide that, okay, he's right, how you distinct is if he's an entrepreneur, then he'll always talk about business terms.
Okay.
He'll say that I want to ensure that this product reaches the market in next 6 months,
I see.
1 year. So if an entrepreneur is there, he always, most of the time, he talks with timeline,
Timeline.
right?
Right.
And second thing is, as I mentioned in the earlier conversation, beginning of this conversation,
Hmm.
he'll try to quantify all the qualitative statements.
Okay.
So a person who is able to fix some timelines,
Hmm.
some targets, and also ensures that the product reaches to the right customer. And if you are able to sense that from the conversation,
Hmm.
then we say that he makes sense as an author.
I see. So innovator is different and entrepreneur is
So
different.
innovators, if you want to have some kind of measurement that uh, I used to have, not the industry, I don't know about
Sure.
others,
Sure.
is that if a guy comes to me and talks about 5 problem statements, and if he's able to give 5 solutions at one point of time, and wants to work all the 5 solutions at a single point of time, then it's a dangerous
Okay.
guy to invest as an entrepreneur.
Okay. Okay. So an innovator is someone who finds a solution, but an entrepreneur focuses more on the process of taking that innovation
Solutions to the market.
to the market. That is more important. And mostly students are when in class, when in college, when they're studying, they are only thinking of solutions.
Solution.
They're not thinking
And when they
business.
come to final year,
Hmm.
some of their solutions will be converted into a prototype as
Hmm.
a final year project.
Hmm. Okay.
From there, then you have to mold the student team,
Hmm.
right? You want to identify out of the projects that they have done, which
Mhm.
is having a commercial potential,
Right.
right? And then you have to identify the team which has an aspiration to become an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
And if you are able to identify these two points, right, a team with a good product or prototype which has a market value,
Mhm.
and their aspiration is also to become an entrepreneur, then
Hmm.
incubation centers role starts from there.
Hmm. Okay. I
And we have to
remember.
put a lot of efforts on them to
Yeah.
ensure that they see the success
Hmm.
in the journey.
I remember, when I was part of IIT Mandi Catalyst Incubation Center at IIT Mandi, most student ideas will be quite raw. And when we are running an incubation center, we are in a race. We want to become a better and better incubation center, and the quality of incubators, quality of startups that we get in the incubation center will define that. Those startups will take it to the world. There will be visitors, there will be exhibitions, government will call, send your startups, and then we want to make sure we have the best startups. And in that process, we mostly felt that students are not ready for incubation center. They are innovators. They have solutions, but they will not become businesses. So mostly we try to refrain from admitting students, and there was an internal push saying from the institute we have to get more and more students to start up, and then we started focusing more on them. But how do we address this problem? Incubator would focus more on advanced or more polished ideas.
See, any business has this formula, right? Uh, Even if you run, right, to justify this statement, I used to say that incubation centers should work like an entrepreneur organization,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is not that all the product ideas that comes to your team can be taken to the market, right? You have your own priorities, right? And you have your own time to market certain products and things like that as an incubation center. So for you, the product is startups,
Startups.
right? Because you are answerable to various stakeholders. But at
Right.
the same time, you should not forget that host institution is also your stakeholder,
Hmm.
because they have given you the resources, they have given you the space, and if you are not catering to the host institution's requirement,
Mm-hmm.
then no point in catering to the other stakeholders' requirement and justifying ourselves,
Hmm.
right? Because
Right.
the starting point is the host institution. So we are not refraining. I'm just rephrasing your thing. We are
Yeah.
not refraining from supporting student startups. Clearly, you have defined that they are solution providers,
Right.
right? Now you know that where they are and what stage they are.
Hmm.
Now, as an incubation center, you also have access to various other initiatives where the students can be director.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we do is we motivate them to participate in various challenges
Mm-hmm.
and technology challenges,
Hackathons.
hackathons, because these are the opportunities that's available for the solution providers, for the innovators
Right.
to participate. So
Right.
once they go there and they get exposed, then the external world also teach them
Mm-hmm.
who they are and what is the product that or the solution that they have and where their solutions is.
Mm-hmm.
Once they have a clarity on that, then most of the students will decide whether they can take it forward or
Mm-hmm.
whether they can stop here
Right.
and then move to their placement career
Mm-hmm.
or there.
Mm-hmm.
So as an incubation center, it is our role to direct the students based on the stage at which they are to the right kind of opportunities or the exposure opportunities that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are able to do that, all right, that itself is a great support that you are providing to the host institution.
See, in the last few years, we've had 2016 Startup India program started, which nationwide created a sort of buzz gradually that startup nationally, it is being given importance. If there are more startups in the country, we'll have more growth, innovation, etc., etc. At the same time, Ministry of Education started this initiative of having institute innovation councils across higher educational institutions. How has that shaped the role of incubation centers? Ease the load on the incubation centers, or how is that shaping the student entrepreneurship ecosystem in the universities today?
The initiatives of the government through IACs, through e-cells, through Ministry of Education and things like that has reduced the load of incubation centers
Mm-hmm.
in terms of creating awareness, motivation, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing because as an incubation center, we are doing all the activities.
Mm-hmm.
We have, being a small team, as I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
being a small team, when you don't have IACs, when you don't have e-sales about, say, 1 decade before and things like that,
Right.
what we do is as an incubation center, we do awareness camps, we do motivation camps, we do ideathons,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we take initiatives to product exhibitions and things like that. A lot of activities that we do for the students and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of these initiatives, right, by the various government educational departments like ACTE, UGC, and other agencies, these initiatives has been rolled out in almost all the institutions.
Yeah.
So what happens is your responsibility means as an incubation center, your responsibility of creating awareness among the students right from the year 1 to
Mm-hmm.
year 3,
Yeah.
doing motivational sessions and things like that. That has been taken care by these initiatives. One.
Right.
Earlier, even if you are doing it, you are not able to do it in a deeper way,
Right.
right? But these organizations have gone into deeper, right? If they are creating awareness, first awareness camp they do on entrepreneurship, second awareness camp they do on innovation, third awareness camp they do on IPR,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a lot of deep dive has gone into this particular journey.
Mm-hmm.
So your load has come down
Okay.
as an organization which is putting a lot of resources on creating awareness and motivation. That role has reduced and are being taken care by IACs, E-cells and E-clubs. We
Right.
have to thank them. But once this has been a successful initiative and these initiatives have started seeing the results or the outcome, right, then you will have better pipeline, right? You made a earlier statement that we refrain from supporting student startups because they are not matured enough, right? That problem will be addressed because of these initiatives.
Right.
So your pipeline of matured startups to your definition, every incubation
Sure.
centers has their own
Right.
definition for incubating,
Right.
that will get increased. And once you get the pipeline, quality pipeline has been built because of these initiatives, then incubation center will play a greater.
Okay. So, what according to you is maybe couple of things that come to your mind which stop students from thinking about entrepreneurship as a career option?
One is that culture has not been built, as you rightly said. Right during their school days itself, you'll say that you become an engineer, you become a doctor, you become an auditor,
Right.
right? You say something, but you don't say that you become an entrepreneur,
Right.
right? That's one cultural thing. That's one thing that slowly it has to get changed. Now, because of the Tinkering Labs initiative at the school level, and some of the school level initiatives by ACT and other government initiatives have addressed to certain level and then move forward. Second thing is admissions are happening in the institutions based on placements, not based on entrepreneurship.
Right.
So that should also get changed. But entrepreneurship has been seen as an alternate career whenever there is a dip in the placements, right? So you should not connect the entrepreneurship and placement together, and it should coexist,
Right.
right? That
Right.
culture has to be built. And the third one is I'll put it in a different perspective. Even the students who showed some interest in becoming an entrepreneur, because of this cultural thing at the family level and things like that, can pull down, right? The parents would have a dream of putting in a higher education
Right.
institution
Right.
for placements and things like that. So suddenly he comes and says that I want to become an entrepreneur and things like that. So that's the third point. Fourth one is if you want to address all these things and if a student wants to become an entrepreneur, my suggestion is take an informed decision,
Okay.
right, with the student, with the faculty, and with the parents also. If the decision has been taken as an informed decision between the stakeholders, then family will also start supporting his initiative, and slowly the numbers can increase.
So we're talking about culture. Culturally, we haven't probably recognized the importance of entrepreneurship as a career option, and there have been different, pockets within our country, different regions where actually entrepreneurship has historically thrived. For example, you take Gujarat as a state, and it has produced a lot of entrepreneurs, big businesses from Gujarat today, businessmen from Gujarat today. So how do we change this culture? There are things which are happening. Role of parents, for parents, how do we tell them that this is a valid option? Because mostly they would
So,
want their.
see, we are not here to say it's a valid option or an invalid option and things like that.
Mhm.
We have to just have a conversation with the parents, with the
Mhm.
student, and saying that this is what he wants to do,
Mhm.
and this is what the ecosystem is going to support in his journey.
Mhm.
And it is not about taking risk; it is about taking calculated risk.
Yeah.
What will happen to your son or daughter
Mhm.
after 1 or 2 years?
Mhm.
If it is fails, where he will stand, and what are the other opportunities that he has?
Right.
So it is about a conversation or a deliberation that you ought to have
Mm.
with. I had couple of experiences
You've counseled parents.
no, they came to us and discussed, right, I don't understand what my son is doing, and he says that you are giving funding for 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs for product development, and he says that he wants to become an entrepreneur.
Right.
So I want to have a clarity on where he'll stand if this project has been successful or the product has been successful.
Okay.
He says something, but I want to hear
Validate.
from
Yeah.
you. Then it's also a good another trait, because we tell one of the traits to become an entrepreneur is information gathering, right?
Yeah.
We'll say
Yeah.
that you should
Absolutely.
collect as many information as possible
Yeah.
from the sources. So similarly, we should also encourage right? If they come forward and ask that, we should be happy because the son has shared something,
Right.
right? Whether they understand the technology or not, the product or not, the son or daughter has gone back to his or her parents and said that I'm going to do this, and
Right.
this is what the support I get it,
Right.
and they want to get more clarity on us. And if you are able to tell them, right, how this ecosystem is functioning, and if they are able to understand, and if they know that where they will stand and what will happen if it goes in the right direction, or if it been on a negative sense, what will be the damages that's going to happen. And if you're very clear, it's going to happen in any, right, that's the reason we say that it is not risk taking, it is calculated risk taking.
Yeah.
So that calculated risk taking, it is not only for the entrepreneurs but also his surrounding people.
You think we should make it part of the process, admitting a student team or student innovator into a program? Let's
Eh,
talk to their parents. Let's get them on board.
See, it should not be a compulsory one, but that's what they should be kept informed. Once they kept informed, and if they come back to you and ask for more details, it's our duty to give it. But tell the students, say that, keep them informed what you're doing.
Okay.
And if parents are able to understand, they'll not come back to you.
You mentioned, failure. So information reduces the sort of, it increases students or their stakeholders' understanding of what risks are involved, right? Mentally, how have you seen students cope with this pressure or this fear of failure? How do you help them emotionally?
See, my point here is students start their startup when they are students. But when they see whether it is a success or failure, they are not students.
Okay.
Right? They have graduated.
Right.
Right? You're going to help them in the third year or fourth year.
Yeah.
And when while they're starting their venture, they'll call it as a student and things like that.
Right.
When the venture moves to the next level and things like that, they're not students. They are engineers. They put 1 year after graduation and things like that. So it is not about student failure. So starting point is student. But when it comes the challenges, I'm not saying it as a failure. The challenges that they face, they would have graduated, and they would also gone into the community. They have interacted with many of their peers. They would have participated in many of the networking events,
Yeah.
and they know where they stand. And from the college environment, they would have moved to the external environment.
Yeah.
Right. So all these changes should also take into consideration, and most of them will be prepared to have alternates. If they have started in the first year, and if they want to see the results in the third year, then it is called as a student startup.
Okay.
So the definition of the student startup is they started during the student period.
Right.
But the growth is not during their college days. The growth is during after their graduation and things like that.
Okay. Okay.
I think we are taking credits while starting.
Yeah.
So your survey of 38% is while starting,
Right.
right? But you should also have your data point, right? How many of them have started in the final year? And what happened after their graduation,
Yeah.
right? Out of 38%, whether the same 38% was surviving after graduation, right? That graduating from the college, that also matters. I don't know whether your survey
Yeah.
covers that.
Not right now. We are only focusing on students in colleges. Yeah.
Students in
Probably
colleges while starting it.
while starting it.
What happens to their startup after a year, whether they graduate, after they graduate? That data point is more important,
Right.
because that's where you can go back to the institution or to the other junior students and say that 38% started right, and after 3 years, out of 38%, 28% are still surviving and still they are continuing it, right? So that number will give you, right? So we are only talking about starting point. You should also have what is the state of that particular percentage of students after 1 year, after 2 years, after 3 years of their graduation,
Right.
whether they're continuing in the same business or whether they have tweaked their idea and moved, still they're entrepreneurs with the same idea or with a different idea, or whether they have left entrepreneurship and they have joined any of the organization. Even if they have joined, whether they have taken, assigned a different role in the organization because of their entrepreneurial journey.
Right.
These 3 points are more important for us out of your survey, right, to handle or to convince the students who are having or less clarity whether to choose entrepreneurship as a career.
Then you have somebody real who has taken that path and they can tell them, this is what I experienced, and you can probably follow the
Yes, but when you have a number of 38%, right,
Yeah.
who have started, and then say for example 23, 24, 38% have got it. Out of this 38%, 24, 25,
Yeah.
right, 30% are still continuing
Right.
in the business.
Right.
24, 25, again another 20% are continuing. So what happened to that 15%?
Correct.
Right? If they join in a corporate, the other important point is whether they join in a corporate in a different role because of their entrepreneurship.
Exactly. Yeah.
If they would have been selected for a mid-career, which an opportunity will be there after 5 years, but
Yeah.
because of their entrepreneurship journey, if that opportunity or the position has been given within 3 years, that itself is a great.
Yeah. In fact, there are a lot of entrepreneur in resident positions in companies today. A lot of large companies have realized that people who are entrepreneurially bent, they are problem solvers. So within
That's
their,
right.
they are hiring them as auditors of their business processes. Come in and tell me why my sales are not increasing.
Agree.
What is the problem in my team? And they come in as change agents,
Mm.
and then they disrupt the organization, and then they suggest to the top-notch
And
leadership.
this is what we call it as entrepreneurial mindset,
Yeah.
right? And we call it as entrepreneur.
Right. To move forward. Right. Great. So, Dr. Suresh, these students, they're different generations, right? We have generation Z today, Gen Z. And with generations, students, technologies change, the way students are thinking, that changes, the culture changes. We talk about, risk management, calculative risk, a process, frameworks. Probably all of this is so boring for Gen Zs. How do we make it more relevant? How do we change the lingo? How do we make it more appealing for the Gen Z? Think about entrepreneurship. Today is the day of social media, content creation, and whatnot.
So, I don't have an immediate answer, but for any generation, gamification is the
Gamification.
is the only answer we have. Whenever you feel boredom about the processes and things like that, implement that processes as a gamification process and gamification as a tool and implement the process. That may happen. But according to me, once a student decided to become an entrepreneur, right? Again, I'm reiterating, he is not a solution provider, right? He moved from a solution provider to an innovator, right? And then he also understood the process, the journey, and he decided, yes, sir, I want to become an entrepreneur. Now I decided to start a organization, right? Once he decides that, he is not a student entrepreneur. Even though he is a student, you should treat them as an entrepreneur.
I see. The mindset has changed. Okay.
And still you call him as a student entrepreneur and things like that, and you are differentiating him. So a student entrepreneur is a journey, as I told you, right? And he has moved from solution provider to innovator, and then he decided, he formed a team and they formed a company, right? And they've registered that or not, or as a firm, whatever it is, but they named the company. And now they decided to take their product or solution to the market. Then you stop saying that you can use that word for your stakeholders, right? But if you start treating them as yet another entrepreneur in your journey, that itself is a great recognition that you're giving to them. That is the differentiator that you're going to give them. That is a recognition that you're going to give them, and that it will be itself will be a motivation for them to move forward.
So when you address them as entrepreneurs, they'll start behaving like entrepreneurs.
That's what I want to say. If you say them you are a student entrepreneur, then always you feel that entrepreneur is different, student entrepreneur is different, and is there any discrimination and things like that. But once they decided to form a company or form a firm and they move forward, call them as an entrepreneur.
In entrepreneurship literature, when we look at the research that is being done, there are different terminologies: student entrepreneur, graduate entrepreneur, nascent entrepreneur, and so on. But I get your idea that
But entrepreneur is entrepreneur, right? See, even women entrepreneur, student entrepreneur, all these things should be there to give some incentives to them.
Correct.
Because of the risk that they have taken, because of the constraints that they have, right? A student, as you mentioned, they have a constraint of teaching learning process, examination, their assignments, whatever it is. Despite these challenges, that they have decided to plunge into this particular process.
Right.
So you need this classification. I don't say that you should not have this classification. You should have that to provide them the incentives, right, to make them right equity with other entrepreneurs, right, women or differentially abled, right, right, and other classifications that you have, right? We should have it to provide benefits or the incentives for the risks or the calculated risks that they have taken
Yeah.
amidst the constraints that they have. But it is only for that particular purpose. But when it comes to addressing them, and it's all entrepreneurs, there should not be any differentiator, and they should all work par with each other.
Can you teach entrepreneurship to anyone? Can the mindset be changed? Have you seen people, we said in the universities, we can give more awareness to the students. All these hackathons, competitions, they create a sense of achievement amongst the students. They know more about the ecosystem. Uh, Often our behavior is something invisible to us. We're not able to observe ourselves. Self-awareness at that level is low. Can we teach entrepreneurial mindset, or is it ingrained in the people?
See, it is not about teaching entrepreneurial mindset. As I told you, each individual have this mindset when they work for their personal commitments. Right. If I want to, right, travel, it's all my personal thing, right? I plan, I execute, I look at alternate sources, I look at the budget, right? So I put all the efforts if I want to travel. If I want to buy something, right, I do all the comparisons, right? And then I'll go with budget, I'll compare the price, I'll negotiate. So it is not that I'm not doing it. I'm doing it all from all my personal activities. I used to say that entrepreneurship is nothing but common sense, right? Whatever you're doing it for your personal things, just extend to your business. But what happens is when you started using entrepreneurship, then people will think that it is the different way of thinking.
Okay.
Right? But it's the same way of thinking, right? You have to look at alternates. You have to look at what benefit is going to bring, right? When you're buying something, you look at value.
Right.
You look at the value for money, and you look at whether it is within my disposable income. Right? All these decisions have been taken based on your exposure, experiences, and your thought process. The same process you have to extend, and if you extend to your business, then it becomes an entrepreneur mindset.
Yeah.
If you same process, if you extend to the corporate or the industry that you are working, then you become an entrepreneur.
In the classroom, when we teach frameworks, we try to package things within some limitations, and we draw some lines and boundaries and say think like this. But entrepreneurship is about problem solving, creativity. So by teaching it in a class, sharing those frameworks, are we binding their thinking process, or are we really helping them with their creativity? You said it's about common sense. So can you teach common sense?
No, no. What we used to say is, it's see, one thing repeatedly we have to say is the thought process is nothing different. Right from morning to evening, you are taking many decisions for your life.
Right.
Once you woke up and what are the tasks you are doing, just like that you are not doing, right? You yourself have some framework, right?
Right.
That framework is based on somebody your parents have taught you, right? The culture of your family,
Right.
right? The experience and the exposure that you had as an individual, or the exposure that you have built by seeing what is happening around your thing, and you take some decisions and you move forward. Right. Similarly, and that's called framework, right? Here, you that framework, you mentally you have built something, and you are fitting into those frameworks, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to business, right, you have been taught that it is an alien, and right, and it is not that easy to do it. And people will think that, okay, if you want to do business, you have to think differently, right?
Yeah.
You have to think differently, but the thought process should be the same.
So we'll say.
So the difference here is when you are taking decisions for your personal activities, already there are certain frameworks which has been imbibed within you, and knowingly or unknowingly, subconscious mind fits all your decisions into the framework and comes in. Here you have to say that, right. So that's the reason at the beginning I told it is about channelizing your thought process.
Right.
Once you have the practice, no, then you'll not say a businessman first time if he is doing a business, right, he'll go with all these frameworks.
Yeah.
When he comes with the second business and third business, he will not look at the framework at all because it has been gone into his subconscious mind. Then immediately he'll say that once you have the idea, immediately the first question is, who is your target market, right?
Right.
What is your market size, right?
Right.
Because that has become a practice. He has practiced for business for 6 months, 1 year, And whether he's been successful or he has not been successful, then he decide to the second business. He will not take a white sheet and he will not do the homework, right? It has gone into his subconscious mind, and immediate first question will be like all these questions he'll ask within himself, right? So the frameworks in the classroom that you have taught is to imbibe that framework into their subconscious mind. That's it.
And whenever
Once
they're
it has been
thinking,
done, then even if it is 15th business, again people will not go with BMC, right? It will
right,
automatically they'll work out,
they'll think about the right questions.
right? And they'll to say that where is the revenue, what is the cost, and things like that. What is my bottom line, right? Automatically they'll start working, right? And they'll, even if you give right, people used to say that if A4 size or a small piece of paper will give them the calculations and results,
Right.
right? But instead of having the framework in the white sheet, right, that has gone into their mind because of the practice, and they started applying it, and that's how the mentors also do.
Okay. Many educators get this question. You're teaching entrepreneurship, or for yourself, 25 years helping hundreds of startups. Why don't you?
become?
Why don't you have a startup? Why don't you become an
Tendulkar will always be a player, and Tendulkar coach will be always be a coach.
But if you
We have
had to,
both the roles, right? Somebody has to play and somebody has to coach, right? A coach cannot be a player, right? A player can become a coach.
that's a very interesting answer. Yeah, there are roles for everyone. Yeah, okay. If you have to start up today, what kind of startup would you do? You hear many problem statements, right? Is there something that is exciting you? Yeah, maybe let me start.
See, one answer to is I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay, let's define entrepreneur.
That's what. Whatever the organization that I'm working for has an objectives to achieve and things like that. And if I look at the way it has to be executed to achieve the goals, and if I'm able to mobilize resources, mobilize people, execute it, and give the results, then I become an
Within an organization,
within an organization.
you are being an entrepreneur. You're behaving like an entrepreneur. Okay.
So I'm an entrepreneur, right? So I have enough tasks to be completed. Right. Once I completed this task given by my organization, then I'll think about becoming an entrepreneur.
Okay, that's not going to happen then. That means, because there are 100 things on your list every day that you have to do as an enabler. But what kind of feeling do you get when you look back? 20 years, so many entrepreneurs that you have supported, incubated, enabled, powered, right?
So in many of the sorry, complete your question.
Go on. No, I want to know
Yeah,
how
because
do you feel?
I assumed your question, right? But see, I have only two. After this 20 years or 25 years of my experience in an incubation center, how I look, because you mentioned, right, the generation gets changed, Gen Z has come,
Right.
and things like that. It is not only for the students, even it's for the entrepreneurs, even it's for the technology.
Right.
And even I have seen many technologies. I means the organization where I'm working for, PhD STEP, and my team has seen many uh, entrepreneurs at different stages with different technologies, different businesses, and things like that. So first initial years, we also struggled a lot. But then we, for an incubation center to be successful, right, according to me, it is my perspective, right, which we follow it as our values in PhD STEP, our team values is 2 points. One, empathy towards entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Means that forget about the technology. An entrepreneur comes to you today and asks, right, I need this particular support for my business. And the same service has been asked by 5 entrepreneurs who are working in. Then I find that there is a need for it.
Okay.
Then it is the incubation center's role to create that service. So as an incubation center, we cannot have ready-made services. We should have tailor-made services.
Okay.
Which service to be the decision of shunting some of the services, including some of the services, depends upon the query that comes from the entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So we keep our ears open, eyes open when we are interacting with an entrepreneur. right? So same problem has been given by 4 5 entrepreneurs. That's the reason we say that incubation centers are not service providers. They should also behave like an entrepreneur organization.
Entrepreneurs. Yeah, sure.
So for me, the customers are entrepreneurs. Right. If I hear the same problem statement from 5 entrepreneurs, then it is not a problem, it is a pain.
Okay.
If I'm able to address that particular pain, then I'm a successful incubation center.
Okay.
Right. So that is one particular value that we have. Right. So when we started, we don't have biotech enterprises in 98, but today we have biotech, we have nanotech, we have biomedical and things like that. So as an incubation center, I can't keep on investing on the infrastructure. Right. That's not possible. Right.
Yeah.
Government will not keep on pumping in every year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what we have to do is, right, we have to have an ecosystem where this pain point of the entrepreneurs can be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to address their pain points, you have to treat them as your customers, and then you have to listen to them and create a service for them.
Right.
It can be a mentor pool, it can be an investor pool, it can be an infrastructure at your host institution, or it can be an infrastructure from other institutions. That's why the organizations like ISBA are helping us a lot.
Yeah.
In ISBA today, we have about 175 members as incubators, and it's getting increased across the country.
Yeah.
If PhD Step doesn't have a facility, I can write to you and ask that whether IIT Mandi is one message in a group, says that I need this facility, fetches about 4 5 incubators coming forward and saying that we are able to provide that service, right? So those are all the things that we build in with one particular sentence, right? Empathy towards entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And to achieve that, we have ISBA, we have networks, we have capacity building, we have host institutions, we have collaborations, we have corporate collaborations. All these things will happen once you start towards it. The second thing that we keep our mind is how we can give that service, right, in a cost-effective manner.
Okay.
It's not about cheaper, it is about a cost-effective manner. Right. So converting their capital expenditure into recurring expenditure helps them a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So how we are going to, so one is listen to them, it identify their problems, and if the same problem has been repeated by many entrepreneurs, yes, there is a need for that service, build that service, or get that service by collaboration, right, and try to give that service at an affordable price by the entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So these are the two things that we are doing it, and that's where we are able to sustain.
Okay. I think if incubation centers can collaborate, which is something.
So that's the purpose of ISBA.
Yeah.
Right.
To bring everyone together.
To bring everyone together. We have brought 175 incubators together. Now, how these 175 incubators can collaborate with each other? That's the power of association, right? We know each other when we know, right, a particular startup needs particular support, and we have to come together and we have to take it further.
Have you seen a sense of competition amongst incubators in the sense
No,
that this is my startup, this is not your startup?
That's what there about 5 6 years before. Now, even now, if you talk in the same language, then you will not grow.
Yeah.
Right. The competition should come.
Yeah.
You should compete for a startup which you are owning it. But a startup says that IIT Mandi is having that facility. Why not you support here? I should not say to the startup, say that no, I'll not talk to IIT Mandi.
Yeah.
Right. It is, the days are gone. Right. I have to say that you see, that's the reason I told you, right?
Right.
Our model is empathy towards entrepreneurs.
Correct.
If I don't have the facility, and if I put a posting in the group saying that I need an facility from this entrepreneur, for my entrepreneur, and if you come forward, that is the need of art. So co-creation, networking, co-incubation, all these things, which has been discussed as a theory about 5 years before in conferences and workshops.
Yeah.
The association should start practicing it, and we have started practicing it.
Another thing which has been discussed or sort of theorized was virtual incubation. And probably before COVID it happened as well, but post COVID a lot of virtual incubation is happening. Do you believe in virtual incubation?
Not only virtual incubation, other models have evolved after COVID.
Okay.
Hybrid incubation has come. Means that because of COVID, I moved to my own native place, right? And now only for the facilities I have to come to IIT Mandi or to PhD Step and things like that. So it is an hybrid incubation. I'll be there in your incubation for about 3 months. I do all the testings, all the things done. and then go back for my analysis. Why should I sit here and do it?
Yeah.
I go back to my native place and do it and come back. So it becomes hybrid incubation. Co-incubation has also evolved after COVID, and virtual incubation has also come way long. Fourth one, which has been discussed in the association, is hub and spoke model.
Hub and spoke model. Okay.
Right. Being an incubation center located here, the government is not sanctioning to the same city. Right. So they'll say that Mandi has an incubation center, other institution cannot be given. Now, I'll say that IIT Mandi's responsibility is to go to the other institutions and take them on board instead of competing with them, right? So hub and spoke should also be discussed. So after COVID, with the support of Department of Science and Technology, now it is TTI, earlier it was NSTDB, we had a detailed discussion and we came up with a model called distributed incubator network model.
Okay.
So before COVID, as you rightly mentioned, we have been discussing about virtual incubation. Post-COVID, through the association, we had a detailed deliberations and we evolved from virtual to, as I mentioned, from virtual to co-incubation, then hybrid, then hub and spoke model, and collectively we called it as a distributed incubation network.
Okay.
And we have also released a concept note in the ISBACon 2022.
Okay.
Which was held in Chennai, a concept note about these models.
So in such models where you are hybrid or you are virtual, how do you still ensure that you have a connect, you have some supervision? For example, you said empathy is a central value that you practice in PSC step. So how do you ensure that you are able to empathize when you are able to connect, not that frequently, you don't see the entrepreneur in person.
So virtual incubation is a word, right, which says that somebody is at remote and you're giving some services.
Right.
But the success depends upon what kind of services that you can extend from your incubation for a virtually located person.
Okay.
Right. That is where I told you, right, it is not about ready-made services, it is tailor-made services. Right. If he's sitting in some part of the country and he is asking for mentoring, right? And if that particular location doesn't have the mentor, I can support.
Right.
Sitting in Bombay and if he's asking for a mentoring, then no point for me to provide that virtual incubation service to him. Instead, I can connect to any of the incubation center from the ISBA network to mentor him. Right. So what I mean to say is, an incubatee is there, which is not at your vicinity, but he is seeking some support from a location, right? And that particular location doesn't have an incubation center, doesn't have any ecosystem, right? And he needs your support, then you can extend it.
Okay.
For number's sake, if you are going to register him as a virtual incubatee, charge him about 3,000 rupees per month and say that you can have access to mentor, it becomes a task.
Okay.
Right, then you are going to do it as a revenue generating activity, not as a service for it. Right. If somebody comes from Mandi and says that I need a virtual incubation, my first responsibility is to refer to Catalyst. Right. So that is how we have to take it forward, and everywhere you have to keep it in mind. Right. If you are a member of ISBA, then you have to say that I'm a member of ISBA, and my fellow member is there in Mandi, my fellow member is there in Chandigarh, my fellow member is in Delhi, Bombay, Hyderabad, and I should take the help. If I'm able to take that help, then the virtual incubation, any incubation can be managed. And after putting that effort, if I feel that there is no member to help there, that particular location doesn't have an incubation center, but he has approached you, then you can extend your help so that you're optimizing your resources, your time, your effort, and you're moving forward in providing a valuable service to the other.
Right. What are the right metrics for an incubation center to track? How can an incubation center measure the success?
So what is the definition of success?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How do we measure it? For
No,
example,
first you define the success. Then we'll discuss about measuring the
I'll tell you what is
success.
in my mind.
Okay.
Okay. In my mind is how many startups do I have? Every year I will incubate 100 startups. Looks a great number, a story to tell, and so on. how many startups will I fund? How many exits will I have? Right? What is the total funding that I've been able to generate from
You are
the
talking
startups?
about success metrics, or you are talking about outcome of your process?
The outcome is the success.
That's it. See, what are the questions that you have asked now? How many fundable startups? How many startups have supported?
Right.
All should be an outcome of your process.
Mhm.
If your incubation process is being properly laid, and these things will be taken care automatically.
Hmm.
Right, no need to right now. If I start working on the reverse, right, this year I want 5 fundable startups.
Yeah.
Then it's a pressure on me and my team.
Right.
Now I'll say that I want to raise 1 crore funding for 5 startups.
Mhm.
If I don't have my incubators are not at that particular readiness level,
Yeah.
then I'll go out to the external world. I'll find someone and say that I'll raise funding for you. Then I'll put an incubator tag to him,
Hmm.
a seal to him, and do it. So according to me, right, if your incubation process is being established and you are very clear at what stage you are going to admit an incubator,
Mhm.
and how we are going to select your startups,
Mhm.
and how we are going to choose your or evaluate your founding team of the startups,
Right.
and how we are going to connect the startups with your services that you have, with your equipments that you have invested, with the mentor pool that you have. So if you are able to feed your startups with the resources that you have developed, and then this goes as a process, and all the other things can be met automatically without any efforts. This is my experience.
Okay. All right.
Few of our startups, even 3-4 months before, one of our startup have been acquired by NIT
Mhm.
for 61 crores. About 70% of the stake has been acquired by NIT.
Mhm.
Right? They have gone this process. Once we in the ecosystem, we had a lot of events, programs related to investment and things like that. The entrepreneur gets engaged and he finds a way to
Mhm.
move forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So another company has raised investment from an industry house and things like
Mhm.
that. So we have not put any right, what to say, that a target to achieve.
Mhm. Yeah.
When
Sometimes.
you are choosing a company, right, as an incubator with a proper evaluation process, looking at their team, looking at their idea, matching with their with your resources that you have in your incubation center,
Yeah.
and then what will be your outcome? The product will come within 3 years or 5 years, whatever the timeline you have fixed,
Right.
because they are into the process. Once the product is out, then they know how to take it to the product, because you have connects with the investors or the ecosystem and things like that.
Mhm.
Right? So that's the reason I'm saying that if your process that has been laid down is proper, right, whatever you are saying is our outcomes,
Mhm.
right, of an incubation center. The outcomes of an incubation center has been defined as a success by other people, not by your incubations.
Okay.
And according to me, how will you measure the success of an incubation center? Right? I don't have any metrics. I have only 2 metrics.
Okay.
One, if an incubator, if a startup comes to me with some objectives to achieve in next 2 or 3 years, and if my incubation center can provide that
Support.
service to achieve, and if he's able to achieve it, right, I'm a successful incubator.
Okay. That's one.
If he comes with an objective to generate employment for 100 people in next 3 years, right, and if I'm able to support and if he's able to achieve it, yes, I'm happy about it. I've done. So success of my means that not the success, I means that the achievement of my
Incubate is good.
incubatees, when he comes to me and when he declares that, sir, I want this particular support to achieve this,
Mhm.
right, he has the numbers.
Mhm.
I don't have a matrix. Startup has a matrix, and if I'm able to contribute to his matrix, then I'm
Yeah.
successful.
You said two. There are two
That's what one is.
objective.
One is whether I'm able to meet his objectives.
Mhm.
If I'm able to confident of meeting his objectives, then I will admit him. One.
Okay.
Then there is some metrics, his metrics, Right. The second one is the objective is right. I've been telling in the beginning, right? Any qualitative statement has to be quantified.
Quantitative. Okay.
Now I admitted it.
Okay.
The second one is he has his own metrics. I'm not fixing the metrics. There is an objective. He needs an objective to give an employment for 100. I'm not putting pressure on him to think about giving employment for 500.
Right.
The second one is what is his number, and if I'm able to contribute to his number, connecting with people, right, connecting with investors if he wants to raise funds. I want to connect with the right investors, network, put him, fix him appointments and things like that. If I'm able to contribute towards achieving his goal, and if he's able to achieve that goal, then it's my success.
Great. So, yeah, I think so. Let me bring this conversation to a conclusion. Towards the conclusion, I do have many questions, but also this will become too long a conversation. Already has. So, in the 6-7 years as the president for ISBA, what are top one or two achievements that you are proud of? The changes that you were able to bring about in the ecosystem.
One is we had reached out to the various stakeholders of the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem.
Okay.
Because it was a booming period. As you mentioned, many government agencies were funding incubation centers, establishing incubation centers. So we have been able to reach out to various various government agencies, saying that as an association, we are there to contribute to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right, because it's been for the members, right, by the members to the members, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So that gave the confidence that okay, there is an association called ISBA which contributes.
Yeah.
Second thing is we started working with the state governments also.
Okay.
Closely with we have been working with various state governments. We have MOUs with state governments, implementing programs, projects, and things like that. We are able to reach out the central and the state governments. The second thing. Third thing is, as I mentioned, the member base got increased.
Right.
Means that the members had confidence on the association. Means that we try to bring in some value through workshops, conferences, events, programs, online programs, and things like that. That's a continuous effort that we have put. We have done manager training program for the second line people.
Right.
We have recently, association has organized the CEO Connect.
Right.
Where the CEOs come together and discussed about their challenges and what is to be represented to the government and what next for the incubation movement and things like that. And so the stakeholders have built some confidence on the association.
Okay, great.
And the new team is taking it forward. They are now having rounds and rounds of discussions with the stakeholders, especially with the government, and hope we'll be moving to the next level. Even before my tenure, the past presidents have contributed a lot for the incubation movement. When the numbers were not critical, I have to thank my predecessors because they got exempted. They've received the exemption from the S12 service tax regime as well as GST for the incubation centers. They have included incubation centers for the CSR contributions and things like that. And these incubators, which have been registered as societies, have they have brought in an amendment in the income tax that incubators registered as a society can invest in
the
startups and take equity and things like that. So I have to thank my predecessors who have been there as the president of the association has contributed. And during my period, we have faced some challenges of COVID for 2-3 years.
Correct.
And then, but at the same time, the ecosystem had a boost. All the agencies started looking.
Several government agencies came actually for India.
And so we played an important role in continuously doing capacity building for the.
Even during COVID time, all the initiatives that from the central government, DST were anchored by ISBA. Nidhi for COVID, for example.
Yes, and Kavach has been done. So that is what the activity that we have done. And now the new generation of incubation center CEOs have taken the leadership,
Yeah.
and we'll see.
What is your unfinished agenda that you want them to take forth?
They have completed that. My only one unfinished agenda was I was dreaming of having a CEO connect
Okay.
or a CEO conclave,
Okay.
right? Which due to some reasons I couldn't complete before March 31st.
Okay.
But thanks to the new team that has taken over, they fulfilled my dream of doing a CEO conclave
Okay.
at Vizag, and about 65, 70 CEOs
Yeah.
across the country came together,
Okay.
and we organized that in the month of June at Vizag, and so now it's my our role to contribute back to the association
Yes.
in various capacities. Whenever they need some inputs,
Okay.
whenever they need some suggestions, we are there to support them.
Okay. Is there one big policy change that you want to see? We are dreaming now. We're wishing. And if we have the power.
There are many policy changes which we have given it as a memorandum to the because it's not about one or two,
Okay.
right? Policy is a policy, whether it is a small or big. So always we keep on pushing some memorandum to the government, and to not only to the government, to the even with the corporates in utilizing the CSR fund, sanctioning the CSR
Right.
fund, considering the incubation
Right.
centers and things like that.
Okay.
So this team has now formed a working group or a what to say, that it's a working group on policies
Deliberations are being done.
done,
Okay.
and now they started giving concept notes on funding,
Okay.
on seed funds,
I see.
and on recurring funds, right? How to handle the which we discussed, right? It's
Right.
all been represented to the various funding agencies.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing all the ideas and answering these questions. Um, to end this discussion, I would like you to give some messages to the student entrepreneurship ecosystem stakeholders. What would be your message to the student entrepreneurs?
See, I'm not that person to give messages, right? And uh, people are contributing for the ecosystem, right? And the contribution from various stakeholders, year on year, it's increasing. Day by day, it's increasing, and we should the incubation centers should reach out to those stakeholders, because when we started our journey, we had the relationship between the government and the academia. Right. Today, as an incubation center, we are handling with many stakeholders. We are handling with government. We are handling with corporates. We are handling with governments, with central and state, then corporates. Then we are handling with service providers, right? Then we are handling with MNCs, right, which are coming with a lot of challenges, which we can reach out to the various stakeholders. So when we started, we had only one word: entrepreneurs.
Right.
Today, the entrepreneurs category has been classified into various subcategories, as
Right.
you rightly mentioned. It has become niche, right? Some of the entrepreneurs incubation centers are working even for assistive technologies, social innovations, medtech, biotech, climate change. So we are going deeper. When we are going deeper and deeper, right, we should have a strong mentor pool. And this strong mentor pool should come from all the stakeholders. So association should work, ISBA should work on creating a strong mentor pool, because when you start working with these technological areas, uh, not all cities will have this kind of mentors or experts. So only collectively we can contribute to the ecosystem. So I believe that association ISBA has a major role to play in bringing the mentor pool, so that even the incubation centers at Tier 2, Tier 3 will confidently will start incubating deep tech.
Yeah.
Start looking at startups in various technology areas, because they should have the confidence that if I need an expert, if I need a mentor, I can reach out to the association. They can give access anywhere across the country. And the mentors will also should come forward to support incubators at all parts of the country.
Yeah.
So there is a rising trend, but as an association, we should rise up to the trend, and we should have the mentor pool. That should be the next goal, where as a member, all of them will benefit out of it.
Oh, great. So I wanted to give you more messages, but you said I'm not the one to give messages. There are enough messages.
Enough message. I'm still a practicing CEO.
Yeah.
Every day I also face some challenges, right? So I need solutions for the challenges that I'm facing on day to day. Right. Having said that, the past president and other things, but my day to day activity is the director of PhD STEP, executive director of PhD STEP, supporting startups. So every day I face some challenges, and I look up to the ecosystem to come forward to address my challenges. That's the only. It is not a message; it is a request from us.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Suresh, for spending all this time with us, coming all the way from Coimbatore to Bangalore to Leva University to have this discussion. Um, having people like yourself who have served the ecosystem for so long, making an effort to come and have a dialogue on this, where we have an opportunity to bring all these learnings to the world, to the student entrepreneurs, to the incubation ecosystem. I hope that we add a lot of value to the Indian startup ecosystem, and all of this takes our ecosystem one step further, two steps further, whatever it can do. Uh, so once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Puran. Thank you for the opportunity. And at this juncture, I also take this opportunity to thank the management of PSG and my team members, my starters, and then move to ISBA. Because of ISBA, we have learned many experiences and many information from the fellow members. Thanks to all the government agencies for giving us the opportunity to work for the ecosystem by getting funding and schemes and programs. Because whatever the messages that I've given or the information that I've shared with the few during this conversation, it is an outcome of my experience that has been built having interacted with this ecosystem, starting from ecosystem institution, PhD College of Technology, to my own startups, then to my own fellow incubation centers like Coimbatore, then through ISBA, then through the government agencies, and traveling to places like Mandi, right, listening to stories like how you build your incubation ecosystem at IIT Mandi. It's a great story that we have learned. It's not a story, it's a journey of yours. Right, all these things has given us the confidence that yes, we can go back to Coimbatore and contribute, and it's a great opportunity for me to recollect my memories, my experiences for whatever we have gained over the last 2.5 decades.
Yeah.
And I'm able to share it with you during this conversation. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you.
Suresh.
Yes, yeah, bye. Pleasure meeting you.
Sir, thank you so much.
Thank you.
One more thing I have to ask you. So how was your experience in this conversation?
That's what I told you. No, you made me to think right for about 25 years of our experiences,
Yeah.
and you made me to take few pointers out of it, which might be helpful for the startups or the budding entrepreneurs or the incubation centers who have been operational or who are going to be operational, right? So you have made me to take cues out of our own experiences and share it to the community. Hope it will be benefiting to the ecosystem.
Yeah. Please also give a message for guests. This initiative, I've shared some information with you, what we're trying to do.
Yes,
Guests.
I have given you a task. Even though it was a part of the conversation, I will not forget that task.
Okay.
You have taken a survey about student startups, but I want to have an outcome of what happened to the student startups after they graduated 2-3 years and things like that.
Yeah.
If it is the numbers are same, then it will be reflecting. That will give a confidence thing. But keep continuing it. I know that these initiatives, pan-India initiatives, are not that easy to execute it. You need resources, you need manpower, you need credible partners. And I think from when compared to last year and to this year, we are able to mobilize that, but still long way to go. And this initiative should not be a 1 or 2 year initiative. At least it should be for 5 to 10 years of initiative. And Guess India, according to me, it should not be an initiative. It should emerge into a movement. That's what I want to say.
Thank you so much.
All the best to you.
Thank you.